This is the special lens which you all saw yesterday. This is the manufacturing. Cost close to 80,000 rupees, 1,000 US dollars for our international colleagues here. And we make it 1/5 of the cost. And we supply to all of India within 48 hours. The lens is there in their clinic. These are very special lenses made in LV Prasad. And as you saw, some of the import substitution, because for everybody we try to make it simple and affordable. That's what we have done. During COVID, within four months, our engineers within the LV Prasad, they developed this teleophthalmology system where you can see this child. We can have a conversation, audio and video with the patient. They can take an appointment with whichever doctor across the network. They can talk to us and they can at least triage what they have. At least 20 to 25% of the patients we can take care through this innovation. And sometimes patients send poor quality images. You know, if you have to advise something on this image, it becomes difficult. What you have used is this simple tool which can be attached to your smartphone, and we can take this fantastic images where we all can advise them what is required for their treatment. So that's what we have done. India is going, it's still an young country, but in the next 10 years already, are we prepared for elderly eye care? Probably not everywhere, but we need to be prepared. We have to begin home care. We are open to collaborate even with the physician, because diabetes mellitus, mostly with the home care we can plan with the nutrition. It's not that they have to come for a consult every single time. So can we take this ophthal clinic in a box? That's what we are looking at.
You need to have access to equipment. You need to have access to clinicians. You need to be able to get access to patients and to testing facilities. You need validation. You need regulatory approvals. More important, increasingly as you do things, you need prototyping capability. All of those today are available here. I would like to believe, and I'm not boasting, that we are probably the only state in this country where all these facilities are easily and fully available to every startup. So for all of you who are here, we ask you to come here and we promise you the best support that we can give you. Just yesterday, we took some of you, and I see that some of you are here, we took you to T-Works. And I remember you're telling me how excited you were and how beneficial you were. So we can and we will help. We want to make this state as the go-to state for everything to do with life sciences. And if you have anything, any idea worth pursuing, do get in touch with us. I promise you the best of support. For all the startups here, you have a long journey ahead. We'll be happy to help and support you in any way we can. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is with equal pleasure I invite our second guest of honor, Mr. BVR Mohan Reddy, founder, chairman, and board member, Scient, to speak a few words.
Honorable Minister KT Ramaragaru, Dr. G.N. Rao Garu, my good friend Ajit Rangnekar, several other dignitaries, good afternoon to all of you. I honestly feel extremely delighted for how the LV Prasad Innovation Initiative progressed over the last 10 years. In 2013, when Professor G.N. Rao Garu and I talked about it, we were very delighted to cut the first check, and we supported them for 5 years. It can't be more gratifying to see how this institution has progressed in terms of incubation and today having a innovation challenge. Writing checks is a very simple thing to me. The more importantly, how they get to implement it, how we get the outcomes is, I think, more important. On that count, let's join our hands to thank Dr. G.N. Rao Garu the rest of the team, Dr. Prashant Garg, and the rest of them for the outstanding job that they have done. We've seen a number of innovations at this point of time, and Dr. G.N. Rao, when he talked at length about how this institution has progressed over a period of time, and he used a word called tech aid. Rightly so. This has been a word that's being used quite often in the last couple of years. And equally important was when Dr. Prashant Garg talked about, he also showed us all the innovations that are being done by the LVPEI Institute. So what are the key drivers for it? The first and the foremost is we believe technology is very rapidly progressing. And that doesn't seem to be slowing down. Even in terms of computing, with quant bits coming in, quantum computing that will come by, computing will become faster. And equally important is people are now talking about 5G rollout. But people like me who sit in labs with leading institutions like the IITs, we're already seeing 6G work being done. There's 6G and beyond. So therefore, it's just not speed. You probably have lesser amount of latency. The cost will come down. And it's just not with the electronics hardware. But what is important is we'll also see tremendous amount of changes with materials, genomics, and many others. Well, technology is progressing so well, what we have seen is the application in places like the LVPEI Institute, which I keep calling it as the amplification. The technology is being applied right now for exotic applications, which are far, far different from the traditional applications that we've seen for several decades. And this amplification that we are seeing today is leading into a number of newer applications which we have never seen in the past. We saw the way in which the optoscopes, you can check the sight of a child, you look at the brain of a little infant who is born. All these innovations, underlying of course technology, but thereafter its amplification. But what I think is equally important is the third one that I talk about, is we need to democratize. We need to get these costs down. I think LVPEI has done well. One of the lenses that they have, they talk about it, how expensive it is in the Western world compared to what it is today. But it's just not the lenses. I think what we need in our country today is affordable healthcare. Healthcare has become expensive. I honestly feel that way. And I think we have to definitely work towards democratizing it, because today the cost of computing has come down, cost of communication has come down. I think it's a combination of this technology usage in amplifying applications is what should lead us into democratization of healthcare. So my humble submission to the audience today, and especially my startups, is look at real problems, local problems, having a social impact for us all to have the best of benefits out of the technology or the tech aid that we all live in. So congratulations to all those winners ahead of time. I don't want to stand between you and the award ceremony at this point of time. But equally important is we created an environment which my good friend Ajit Rangnekar talked about, the 10 perceptibly different institutions that came by. The T-Hub, we talked about Rich, or the T-Works, and the Task, and the V-Works, and so on and so forth. And certainly, I wouldn't be doing it right if I don't acknowledge the person who had the vision and who gave the direction and made sure that this got implemented, who is here with us today, Mr. KT Ramarao garu. Thank you. So what we need to do is, my only small piece of advice before I step out to LVPEI Institute is this good. We started this startup initiative. But I think there is a fairly large amount of hand-holding that's required for these startups. We said 4, it might become 40, but I think we need to multiply them, and more importantly, make sure we get quality hand-holding with these companies, whether it's to do with mentorship, it's to do with business services, it's to do with their IP, making those business plans, market access. The way in which you are connected all around the globe makes you very unique. So again, thank you very much to all of you. Congratulations. And lastly, Dr. J.N. Rao, once again, I can't stop myself but saying that you have that great capability on creating an institution of global repute. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohan Reddy Garu, for the kind words and the support. We have with us now a very special invitee, Mr. Srinivas Rao Mahangali, CEO of the Tea Hub, and I would like to invite him to give his perspective on the startup buzz in India.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister Garu, Dr. Rao, BVR Mohan Reddy Garu, Ajit Rangnekar, Dr. Garg, Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Rajiv, and all other dignitaries, all the startups, the mentors. I feel really honored and privileged to be here today. As I was thinking, I was telling Professor Ajit Rangnekar when I came up, I feel like some of you, like I am a cricket buff, so I feel like, either the opening batsman or Dravid, because Tendulkar, the crowd wants to see Tendulkar. Okay, so I have to keep this short. So we'll start with that. So I think this week has actually been a very historic week in Hyderabad. Two Dr. Raos have won global recognition, truly well deserved. One is of course our Dr. Rao here, and the other is Dr. C.R. Rao, who at the age of 102 won the International Prize in Statistics. Sir, it's a privilege and honor to be speaking in front of you. Right. I remember when I joined T-Hub about a year and a half ago, two of the people who interviewed me are here, Mohan Reddy Garu and Ajit Rangnekar Garu. I still remember one piece of advice which Mohan Reddy Garu gave me then. MSR, we are looking for you to build an institution. And today, what I heard, all the people who spoke before me, the story which, how you built, how you came back to India, how you built this over the last 36 years is truly inspiring, right? And is a model which hopefully we can replicate at what we are trying to do at T-Hub. So thank you for this opportunity. Now coming back to the entrepreneurs, 42 entrepreneurs, and I think all of you, first of all, congratulations for taking the leap. First of all, it's very hard. Most of you, I met some of you last night. Most of you are people with great academic backgrounds, great professional backgrounds. So entrepreneurship is obviously a lonely journey. It's a tough journey. And for you to be successful, all of you know, right? It will take a lot of passion. It will take a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work, ability to ride the, take the highs and the lows. You need an ecosystem to support you. And that's what we are trying to build here in Hyderabad. So when you think about it, for an entrepreneur to be successful, first you need to have the idea, right? Which all of you I'm sure have. But to be able to take that idea to market, to be able to take that idea to fruition, you need a lot of support. They say it takes a village to help a child, to raise a child. And as you can see, the ecosystem which is getting built here, first at LV Prasad and the extended ecosystem, is something which I am happy to say to be part of. And I'd really like to encourage not just the winners, but all the other not just the 12 people who are, 12 plus 1 who are part of this, but also the 42, right? We can help you. I was looking at Dr. Ramesh's presentation. I think there are other elements to that where we can support you, because I think finally when you think about innovation is all about idea into commercialization, and the commercialization part, where I think there are 2 or 3 key elements. One is of course in terms of helping them with raising funding. For example, we built a good network. I was happy to see my friend from IAN somewhere. There were a couple of investors whom I saw today who are here, but we built a good network. Now we have 40 plus investors. So happy to reach out to all the entrepreneurs here who are part of this journey and to see how we can help you with the fundraise. The second thing is we do a lot of engagements with large corporates, okay, many of whom have significant CSR obligations. So we can try and see how we can help you get connected to them to accelerate your journey, right? So it's again a pleasure and privilege to be here. I want to again thank all the people who got me on this stage, and I want to wish all the entrepreneurs all the best. This is going to be a long, tough journey, but as Rajit sir just said, Hyderabad probably offers the best ecosystem in the country today to build, to build a world-class company. And all of you hopefully will go on to build companies where the motive is profit with purpose. So all the best and look forward to interacting with you.
Thank you, Srinivas Rao Garu. Since he has anyway pledged his support from the Tea Hub to everyone, maybe we can hold on to announcing the winners. It is now my pleasure and privilege to invite the chief guest for this event, Shri K.T. Ramarao, Minister of Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Industries and Commerce and Information Technology of Telangana, to address our guests.
Thanks. I think this is sort of a trick, The podium is a bit low, so they're trying to check if I actually can see it right. But you know what? I'm not going to stick to I'm not going to be tested here. Dr. Rao, this is a very, very special institute, LVPEI Institute. All the things that were just mentioned by all the preceding speakers, and I not only endorse, I wholeheartedly feel extremely elated each and every time I'm here. So this is a very special institute. You're a very special human being, actually. Because, and the reason why I say this is not because I'm here, not because you've invited me, but because, there are very few people in your life that you get to meet, who inspire you, who want you to be a better person. And Dr. G.N. Rao is certainly one among them. I can tell you without an iota of doubt. Because a lot of people in Hyderabad think that L.V. Prasad is the founder of this institute. You have to be really selfless. You really have to be, a person with the utmost humility, not to want your name to be on the name of the institute that you founded. Now that in itself, I think, goes to tell you what kind of a man Dr. Kullapalli Nageshwara Garu is. So my compliments to you, sir. I think the recognition came in pretty late, actually, if you ask me, MSR. Being recognized by WHO as one of the top 10 most impactful guys in healthcare, sir. Kudos to you. And kudos to your contribution to the field of ophthalmology, and kudos to the institute you've built. Because this institute, again, has been recognized by Shumaz, is it? Shumago, as one of the top 10 research institutes in healthcare, in eye care in the world. Again, compliments to the institution you've built, sir. I think as individuals, when we, I think COVID, especially the last couple of years, has given us a lot of time to introspect, a lot of time to think, a lot of time to mull over what we do in life, where we are headed, etc., etc. And the one thing I think we all realized, end of the day, at least I have, is that, it is not an individual that is going to be there forever. Because, all of us, most of us have lost somebody that we know, or somebody that we love, or somebody in our family, or we knew somebody who lost somebody, that sort of thing. We live like we are here for 1,000 years. We all do. Every day, in and out, we're thinking about materialistic comforts, we're thinking about lofty ideals, lofty goals, where we want to be in life and what we want to accomplish in life, etc., etc. But the fact is, none of us are here forever. But what matters is what kind of an impact an individual has had over the society, and what kind of an institution or what kind of an impactful presence that man had or that woman had while he was on this planet. And I think truly outstanding people build institutions which outlast them. And I think LVPEI Institute is a standing testimony to that, and my compliments to the entire team. From 1978 until today, 36 plus years, Dr. Rao, you've done truly well. And you continue to outdo yourself, because each and every time I see something like this, each and every time I'm invited here. I was here when Srujana Center for Innovation was launched. I was also here a couple of months ago to get my eyes tested. I've become old. I have 3 sets of reading glasses now, unfortunately. And I'm also, when Dr. KTR was speaking, I was thinking to myself, I'm a patient of diabetes mellitus. So I'm certain that glaucoma is going to set in at some point in time, and a cataract is needed at some point also. I'm going to come back. But the point is, institutions need to outlast individuals, processes need to outlast personalities. And that's the only way your business is also going to succeed. Our Chief Minister, KCR Garu, he keeps telling us, he keeps reminding us, whenever I tell him about something new, something fancy in technology, the one question he has without fail is, what is the societal impact of this technology that you talk about? Does it have a positive societal impact, or is it just one of those fancy things that people talk about which goes nowhere and helps nobody, but it's cool to have? Now that's the one question. When Mohan Reddy Garu was speaking, I was thinking, no, yes, truly, the power of computation has increased, the cost of communication has cut down, the cost of memory, the cost of computing has come down, but healthcare keeps getting more and more expensive. And especially for a third world country like India. I mean, we don't say it often out of pride or whatever, but the fact is India is a third world country where our per capita income is only $2,000. There's a huge population out there who are not privileged enough to have access to good healthcare. And of course, therein lies also a business opportunity from an entrepreneurial perspective, if you think about it. My humble request to all the entrepreneurs in this room is, of course, as MSR said, I think profit with a purpose. That matters. That should matter. That should, in fact, be the goal, if you ask me. Especially if you're an Indian and who wants to innovate in India, who wants to incubate in India, who wants to incorporate in India, and who also wants to serve in India. I think you need to have that sense of profit with a purpose. Because you can make money, in many ways. You can go out, do some real estate transactions, you'll still make money. But to be able to impact lives, to be able to deliver some good, I think it truly takes character, truly takes courage and commitment. Because entrepreneurship in India is not easy. As MS said, it's a lonely journey. And wealth creators in India are not really, I mean, those especially who make lots of money are not really respected as much as they are in the West, trust me. So point I'm trying to make is, innovation, entrepreneurship is the only way I think this country, any developing country, any emerging economy is ever going to prosper. In fact, Ajit Rangnekar, who heads our RICH, the institution Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, whose primary objective, who's been driving this, in fact, with a lot of passion. In fact, Ajit wanted nothing to do with government. I had to convince him, I had to tell him, no, this is going to be a very different government. I'm really thankful to you, Ajit, because you said something very nice. You said, we have the best ecosystem in the country, this state. I'm truly delighted, truly touched that finally, you agree with me that this state and this government honestly has done whatever it could in terms of beefing up the infrastructure, the ecosystem, making it conducive to come, innovate, to actually, probably create enterprises out of this place. The 2 points I'll leave you with. LV Prasad Eye Institute is a specialized institute, we all know. It's a niche institute. The one advice I have for entrepreneurs is, if you want to succeed, be original. Be original. Do not be a copycat. It's easy being a copycat and succeeding. You can create a Flipkart, you can create a Snapdeal copying Amazon. I think that's easy. You can create a number of other such spin-offs and such copycats by copying and aping what's already done and dusted in the West. But if you're original, and if you come out with something truly world-class, the best time to be an entrepreneur is not now. Because, when Mohan Reddy Garu started Scient, back then it was called Infotech, I think he did not have the same kind of privilege as you do. When MS was speaking, when Ajit was speaking, they were talking about everything else but capital. Because in today's world, if you have a great idea, capital is not a challenge, not a constraint. Back in the day, a couple of decades ago, capital was a huge challenge. To raise money, to fund your idea, to actually go to market, to commercialize it, that was the biggest challenge. But in today's world, capital is one of the last things that people talk about. It's the idea, the product. It's how quickly you can bring to market, how original it is. I think that's really what matters. The second piece of advice I have for you, first is be original, be courageous. Second, please celebrate failure, because today we have 42 guys here, out of which I think 3 are going to be 12 finalists and 13 rather, with somebody who just leapfrogged, or I don't know what is that wild card thing, whatever that is. But there is only going to be 3 people, three teams here who will finally be getting something like a felicitation, some award, or whatever it is. The remaining 39 who go home, please don't be disheartened, firstly, because I think a lot of times we undervalue, a lot of times we don't realize that what we take for granted in normal times, normal courses, and what we really don't realize, the importance of mundane. We need to understand that failure and learning. It's a part of life. Till COVID came about in our lives, till COVID came along in our lives, I think many of us were cribbing about how boring work is, how tough it is, to wait through the traffic and go to office and spend long hours and all that. But after COVID came in, I heard my friends and everybody else, there such loud cries of wanting to get out of home, and wanting to do, just go back to normalcy, however bad it was, just go back. That was the thing. So I keep telling people, normalcy is underrated. My humble request to you is, when you have an idea, even if it sounds like a very normal one, please don't overlook it. Just don't go for the fanciest of ideas. Look at the most mundane problems. Look at the most innocuous, most simple looking like problems. Focus on them. Try and find optimal solutions. Even if it means, even initially, even if you start thinking that this isn't a great idea, this isn't earth shattering, it need not be. It could just be a very simple idea, but if it has to be original, even if it's mundane, even if it's very common, even if it's a very small pain point that you're trying to address. Especially, I loved what you did, ma'am. I forgot your name. Prem Nandini. Prem Nandini, what she did with the kids, the pediatric, solution that she came out with. I think that's brilliant. I mean, we don't really think about it. We all have children, young children, older children, etc. We don't necessarily think from their perspective because they can't speak. So we need to look at these minute little things and what solutions we can possibly come out with. The third thing I'll tell you, be original, be very, very, like I said, even look at the most mundane, normal things. And the third thing, I think I'll leave you with this, is please leverage the ecosystem here. Please leverage the ecosystem. Because, when there aren't many institutions out there, or when there aren't many mentors out there, when there aren't many poster boys, poster girls out there, it becomes that much more difficult. But in a city like Hyderabad, where you can find mentors, where you can actually reach out and where you can actually be, helped, because that will cut down your learning time. That will cut down the lag from taking your idea to market. Please use T-Hub. Please use Rich. Please use the institute here, BioNest, I think it's called, Srujana. Please use the number of other institutions that we have in Hyderabad. I think we need to be talking to each other more often. We need to be working with each other more often. Because I think, like Dr. KR said, the power of collective, the might of collective, is, I think, that much more impactful, that much more powerful. So please use the collective might of the ecosystem in Hyderabad. Please create products that are world class. Please come out with original ideas, and please continue to push the envelope. And eventually you'll end up like Dr. G.N. Rao, winning accolades from the rest of the world. And of course, I'll tell you a lot of nice things about G.N. Rao, but I'll not agree with him on one thing. And I think for entrepreneurs, he's a bad poster man. I'll tell you why that is. He's the most low-profile man I know in Hyderabad. If you're an entrepreneur, if you want to raise money, if you want to be successful in today's world, in today's context, you have to be in your face. You have to be very vocal. You have to be very, very loud. Low profile will make you a scientist. How old are you now, Nag? 77. You're very young. See, if you, I'm sure most of the guys in this room who are definitely not 77, if you want to succeed and succeed quick and make an impact, you have to be in your face. You have to be a bit more high profile. You have to be a bit more vocal. Nag is not very vocal. He's very silent. He does his thing. He goes home. He doesn't crave for recognition. He doesn't crave for attention. Doesn't want his name on the institute that he founded. He's one of those guys. But you guys, especially the entrepreneurial class who wants to raise capital, wants to do well, who wants to make an impact, wants to conquer the world, be in your face, be loud, be vocal, make noise, and continue to win laurels. Thank you very much. And Dr. Rao, we all love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, KTR Garu, for those very unscripted and inspiring words. I'm sure I'm sure everyone is touched over here, and you've opened up a lot of avenues in Hyderabad. Thank you. So we've come now to the main part of the event, that is the award announcement and the prize distribution. And to keep the tension up, I will still delay it further, and I'll invite Mr. Atmakuri Ramam, our mentor and advisor for the Center of Innovation and Executive Vice Chair Emeritus of the LVPEI Institute, to do the honors. Yes. He might announce.
Thank you, Jevita, and thank you for all the speakers for setting the stage. So I'm actually privileged to be standing here, not being a contestant, to be competing against 42 others, or not to be among the judges, to be having a migraine headache after all the evaluation, or to select which are the best ones and all that. So I'm in a better position today just to read out the winners. So let me start here with the first one on the list. First one on the list. The first prize goes to Natu Natu from RRR. I'm just wondering, so this is by choice. This is by choice. How can we think of a Natu Natu today in this kind of a thing and all? So if that song can win an Oscar that is coming from our state, then being a part of our world-class institute like LVPEI Institute, and with all the great things that we have and all the ecosystem that we have in our state, with all the gentlemen extending all this support. So I think this, the first of its kind startup challenge that we started, I think it will eventually scale up to the award will raise to the kind of an Oscar in those kind of things and all. So I was just thinking about that, and suddenly this Natu Natu came to my mind. So not bad, sir. So thank you very much. So before I announce the prizes, first I want to make a special mention of this startup that got a wildcard entry from among other participants called Black Frog Technologies. They are from Karnataka, so who came through wildcard entry and then competed with all the others. So congratulations to first to that company.
If you all are here, please stand up.
Very exciting, lot of youngsters participating in this competition. Congratulations, team. Thank you. All right, so we start with announcing the second runner-up. Second runner-up goes to Alien Innovations from Hyderabad.
Please come on the stage, and I request Dr. Prashant Garg to please hand over the prize.
Congratulations. The first runner-up goes to Neura Sim from Manipal.
I request Dr. G.N. Rao to please come on the stage to hand over the prize. So both the second runner-up and the first runner-up, along with the cash prize, will have 6 months of incubation at LVPEI.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. And the winner finally goes to Artelius from Bangalore.
And for this, I request Mr. KTR Garu to please come on the stage to felicitate our winner. And Ramesha too. So the winner takes home 5 lakhs along with 1 year of incubation at LVPEI Institute.
Yeah.
All the winners, please come on the stage. We'll take a group photograph.
you, everyone. Congratulations to all the winners and wishing all success for all other participants for the next year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ramam. And before we end, we would like to wish all the ventures a journey of commercial success and social impact. Remember, there is no finish line, and this certainly isn't. So enjoy the journey, continue to innovate, and thank you all for joining us here. Can I request all the finalists to please come on stage? All the 13 finalists. The jury members, if please join us too. All the jury members.